Kim with Art Classes for Kids, and I'm bringing you a project along with the Blackwing Foundation's Pathways to Creativity. Now, this project is using colored pencils and paper and markers. We are going to be making a project like this inspired by the famous pop artist Andy Warhol, who is this image over here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about him and teach you all the steps it takes to make this work of art. But first, let's find out what supplies are needed in order to make it. First of all, you're going to need one sheet of black paper to be your backing, one sheet of white paper that we'll be doing our drawing on. You'll need colored pencils. You will need a black marker, a pencil, a glue stick, and a label that reminds you that this project was inspired by Andy Warhol. You made it at school with the Blackwing Foundation's Pathways to Creativity, and you're going to be able to put your name and date on it so that you can remember when you made it, how old you were, and so once your name's on it, you can't get it mixed up with someone else's. Now gather your supplies so that we can get started. Be sure to pause the video here and gather your supplies if you haven't already. Then unpause when you're ready to begin. We're going to start out by putting our name and date on our label. Your teacher will be able to tell you what the date is today, and you will definitely know your own name. You can do your first name or your first and last name. Go ahead and put that date on there. And once you have this, set it aside so that you'll have it ready for the end of the project. Next, we're going to take our white paper and we're going to fold it in half. And then we're going to take this, it's like a little book right now, we're going to take that and fold it in half again. Line it up nice and rub it down. Now we're going to open it up. Once we open it, fold it kind of backwards a little bit, then it'll flatten out and you'll have 4 even sections. Take the 4 even sections and write one line on top of the crease marks. And you're ready to start. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Andy Warhol before we get started on drawing each of the cans. Here's an example of one of the cans. It's a cylinder. We're going to learn how to draw a cylinder, and we're going to do it 4 times. This is Andy Warhol. He's an American artist who was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but he spent most of his career in New York City. This is one of his very famous works of art. This is a celebrity portrait inspired and created with the image of Marilyn Monroe. She was known as an icon in the 1950s and 60s when he was first making art. It was way before celebrities were on every magazine cover and such. So this is one of his famous portraits. You notice it has 2 Marilyn Monroes. He wanted to use the subject matter of popular things in culture like popular people, and he wanted to show it more than once because he thought that made it even more important. He went from that to showing food products that he thought were important, like Coca-Cola bottles, and then he showed even more and more of those bottles because he thought they were popular and he thought they were important. Then he went and did his soup cans. Now he did soup cans because he loved this brand, Campbell's Soup. He ate Campbell's tomato soup almost every day. And so it was important to him. So he wanted to elevate that and make it an important thing to look at in art. He also did it with more and more multiples. Then he was also inspired, besides making it feel important, he would walk by a place called the 99-cent store and he would see the windows had the same item, in abundance. So he would see rows of them and he loved the way that looked and he wanted to put that idea into his art. And then he started making sculptures with repetition of a common everyday object. So we are going to take our white paper that we've divided into 4 even sections, and we're going to learn how to draw a cylinder so that we can draw a soup can. Now what we're going to do is going to have 2 straight sides. It's going to curve at the bottom and curve at the top. Let's take our paper, and we're going to show you this from the overhead camera. What I like to do is take my finger and put it on the side and make a line down the side with about 1 finger space between the edge of the paper and that line. I'm going to do that again on the other side inside that rectangle. So now I have a second line. I can do that again in the second, third, and fourth rectangle. Now if I'm moving too fast, remember you can get your teacher or you can yourself pause that video and take your time, and when you're ready, push play again and you'll be right with me. Now I'm going to put my finger down again on the side of the line and I'm going to make a line. Make it as straight as you can. And I'll do that one more time. Measure about 1 finger space apart, make a line. Now if you don't need your finger to space it, maybe you can just see that it's 1 finger space apart. Now I'm on my last rectangle. So now I've got in each rectangle 2 vertical lines. They don't touch the top of that rectangle and they don't touch the bottom. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a smile curve to the bottom to connect the 2 lines that we just drew in each rectangle. So I'm going to swoop down and make a smile curve. If it goes past those lines, you can erase or you can just leave them there. It doesn't really have to be absolutely perfect. Now everyone's is going to be a little different. We're trying to fill up the space in our rectangle, so we don't want this cylinder to be too small. I'm going to make another curve on the 3rd rectangle and another smile curve in the 4th. So now yours should look like this. Each rectangle has 2 vertical lines and a smile curve closing it up at the bottom. Now when you look at your can forward, this curve, it's flat down here, but it looks like it's curving forward. That's the illusion we're creating by drawing. Now we're going to do that same thing at the top of the 2 vertical lines in each one of the 4 rectangles. Here we go. First one, we're going to curve it and connect it. Then we go to the second one, smile curve and connect it. Go to the third one, smile curve and connect it. And the 4th one, smile curve and connect it. Now it looks like this. The next step is that we're going to put 1 more smile curve right across the middle. Smile curve, and they're all the same type of curve. That means they're the same size, the same curvature. And now it looks like this. You see? Okay, now we're going to make the edge of the top and bottom. All we have to do is make 2 more of those curves, but really close to the top one and really close to the bottom one. We're going to do that in 3 more rectangles. So I go right next to the top curve without touching it, and right next to the bottom curve without touching it. And I do that again. Now don't worry about perfection. Just make sure you've got all the curves. hopefully you feel like this isn't that hard and that you can do this. Now we're going to add the top curve to close up the top of the can. So when we look at it this way, it's a circle, but as soon as I turn it this way, it starts turning into an oval from your view. So what we're going to do, we have a front view here, so we're gonna make this an oval. So what I do is I go to my first can and I'm going to add a rainbow curve that connects it from one side to the other, and I don't touch the top of my paper. Now I do that another time on the second rectangle. Rainbow curve and connect. Go to your third rectangle when you're ready. Touch the left top line and rainbow curve to get to the right. One more time, last one. Rainbow curve all the way till you touch the right side of the can. Now you've closed up your cans and you've drawn a cylinder. Now, all the cans have little grooves in them. These have a pull tab, but in the olden days they didn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 ovals inside. How you do that is you follow this shape, you just don't touch it. Like this. And you can do it one more time. So it's kind of like an oval target. So we're going to do that a second time. Go inside the rainbow, then curve around the corner, come back with a smile, and connect it. Do that again on that same can, but do it smaller. Now we're going to move on to the third one. You're going to make the rainbow curve below the rainbow top, curve in the corner, smile curve until you connect at the end there. And one more time. Rainbow, smile, connect. Last one. Make a rainbow curve. Make a smile curve, connect it. And one more time, make a rainbow curve. Go around the corner, smile curve, and connect it. And now it looks a little more like a can because it's got the ridges in the top of the can. Okay, now all the Campbell's soup cans have a little crest here. It's got a really detailed picture of a person sitting on something with wings, like flowers and wings. Some crazy old-fashioned crest. But all we're going to do is we're going to make a circle that crosses through the middle curve. Just like that, and then we're going to erase the line in between. So let's do that again. We're going to make a circle, the best circle you can. It's about the size of a quarter, the 25-cent coin. And now you're going to erase the line that went through. Let's do that 2 more times. Make a circle, erase the line in the middle of it, and last time. You want them to be the same size, but they don't have to be perfect. And now it looks like this. Okay, now we're gonna move on. Okay, let's create a crest of our own that's simple. Maybe you wanna make a flower, like I made a flower crest here. Maybe you wanna make a heart with 2 little leaves next to it. I don't know, whatever you make it the same. So I'm gonna make a heart with 2 little leaves, but before I made like a daisy flower. You make this up because this is your customizing your soup can. Okay, I've made a simple shape. Now we're going to write the word soup towards the bottom without touching the bottom, because all the Campbell's soups say soup at the bottom, S-O-U-P. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write it all in capital letters. S-O, leave some space between the S and the O, U-P. Just like this. Okay, let's do it again. Start over here towards the left. S-O-U-P. Go to the third can. S-O-U-P. And go to the last can. So now we have the word soup, and it's written 4 times. Now, if you want to have tomato soup, which is not that hard to spell, it's Tomato. If you can do the letters tomato, you can have that above the word soup, all in capital letters. Maybe you have a favorite soup that you would like to write in place of it. Maybe you have a make-believe soup that you would like to write the name of. But I'm gonna give you a few minutes to figure out what soups you want and then write the word just above the word soup. I'm gonna keep it easy and I'm gonna write Tomato. Because that was Andy Warhol's favorite soup. And I did have tomato soup today for lunch. I just spiced it up a little. Okay, here we go. We got Tomato. Okay, this is what mine looks like. Now, any adjusting you need to do, you can do it with your eraser and pencil now, because after we do the top part, we're gonna start using the permanent marker, and we can't erase that. Now, for the word Campbell's, most kids your age don't write cursive yet. So we're gonna make a make-believe word Campbell's. We're gonna make a C and make a bunch of little loops. I'm gonna show you how to do that. First of all, you're gonna go to the top section of the can and you're gonna make the letter C. Once you get that C, go ahead and do that on the left of the top section of each of the 4 cans. So I got C, 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 and C. Now we're gonna turn that into a fancy kind of cursive C by just putting a loop in the top and a loop or a swirl at the bottom. And it'll look a little bit like this. Next, we're going to make some swirls, like a cursive E, like an E. Make a few of E, like swirls, and then you're gonna make a tall 2 swirls and a little one. Maybe something like that. Let me show you that again. You're gonna make swirl, like curl it up, curl it up, curl it up. Tall curl, little curl. You can make a scribble there if you want. But you can just go scribble, 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 scribble if you want. Just as long as there's loops. I'm gonna re-loop those 2. And my last one, I'm just gonna go loop, 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 tall loop, little loop. Now I just have a little shape. What's important is that this represents the shape and image of the Campbell soup can. It doesn't have to be perfectly readable. Okay, now what we're going to do is put our pencil down and we're going to get our black marker. Now we're going to go and do one thing as an outline and the rest we're going over all the pencil marks. Let me show you what that means. On the word soup, we're actually gonna go around the pencil marks. Around the O and in the O. Around the U and in the U. Around the P and a circle inside the P. Let me show you that one more time. You're gonna go around the pencil line of the S, then around the pencil line of the O, around the pencil line of the U, and around the pencil line of the P, but where the hole is, make a little O. So I go around the S, around the O, around the U, around the P, and one more time. And it should look a little bit like this. Now that's the hardest thing that we're going to draw. So take your time, take a little more time to get around those pencil marks. You can leave those pencil marks when you use your colored pencils, you can color right over them. But if you're waiting for the others and you have a little bit of time, take your eraser and erase the inside lines. All right, now for the rest of the cans, every other pencil detail, you're just going to go over your pencil marks as best as you can. Okay, I'm gonna go and do all these. And then I'm going over these letters. Now, if you feel like you're really advanced, meaning you're pretty darn skilled in art, you can not write your word that's the flavor of your soup, like tomato, with black, and you can do it with a colored pencil instead. But that's a little harder to do. Now, after we've done all the black lines over the pencil marks, I'm going to give you a few options of things that are a little harder that you don't have to do, but if you want to do them, you can. I'm going to leave that word tomato without black so I can show you how you could do that. But remember, it's easier if you just color it in black. Now, Andy Warhol's cans were originally, they only came in red and white Campbell soup cans, but he decided that in his art he was going to elevate them, make them even cooler than they are in real life by making them bright colors. Later, 50 years after he first made his soup can art popular, the Campbell soup can decided to make some Andy Warhol styled tomato soup cans, which is how I got these. And they even have a picture of Andy Warhol on the back saying how much he made people aware of the soup. So now we've got this. We aren't going to go over the lines that divide it, but if you did, don't worry about it. Okay, so now I have all mine drawn, and now I'm excited to say that I want to start using some color. So if you have your colored pencils, go ahead and open them up and just take those out of the box so they're easy access. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start coloring our soup can. Now notice one of my words, tomato, I didn't do it black. I'm going to do it a color instead. I think I'm going to do it green. So I'm gonna go over really thick and dark those letters. But now when I color that, I'm gonna need a light color if I wanna go over it, or I'm gonna have to color carefully in between. Now we're going to color the top half and the bottom half, 2 different colors. Oh, I just saw a spot I missed. This line right here. Okay, so we can start with whatever color you want. If I like yellow, which I decided I was gonna do a light color over this, I'm going to color yellow in the bottom section of my can, like this. Now I color pretty quick, but I know you guys probably, it's new filling in and staying in the lines. So take your time and just pause the video whenever you need to. So I have that one done like that. Now if I use yellow here, I'm not gonna use yellow in the top half because I want them to be 2 different colors. Actually, I'm not even gonna use yellow in anything else here. I might go to a different can to use yellow in a new spot. So I think on this can, I'm gonna make the top and the bottom yellow. And maybe in this can, I'm gonna make the top of the label yellow. And in this one, I think I'll just make the crest yellow. Now I'm going to pick a new color. Now it goes quicker if you just take one color and you put it in one spot on each one of the cans, rather than complete a whole can. But you know, work how you feel most comfortable because there isn't only one way to do this. I'm just showing you one way. Okay, so next I want to use orange. I think in this one I'm going to make orange be the word soup. Then maybe on this one I'm going to make orange the can color. If you do the top of the can one color, maybe you should match the bottom edge. Over here, maybe I'll just do the label. And over here, maybe I'm not even going to use orange because I have plenty of colors. Next, I'll try red. So red, I think I'll do the top of this can red. See, now, since black is darker, you can just color right over the black marker. You want to fill in your color so that you don't have any white spaces in the area. Just like if you were coloring a coloring book. This is kind of like you made your own coloring book page. Now, Andy Warhol, he was known as a pop artist because he used popular items as the subject matter for his art. But before he did that, he was a commercial artist and an illustrator, so he always adds illustration to his art. He also, well, let's just move on. Let's grab the red and go to another area. This one, I'm going to make the crest red. This one, I don't think I'm going to put any more red in that. Well, maybe I'll make the word soup red. And this one, maybe I'll make the background red later. I'm gonna make a little mark to remind myself I'm gonna do the background red. Next, we are going to use some, how about light blue? Okay, so light blue, what am I gonna do with light blue? I think I'll do the top of this one light blue. So Andy Warhol didn't paint his art with a paintbrush so much as he used a method in commercial art called screen printing. That means he made a print and he had multiples of each work of art. It gave him this look that made it look very industrial or commercial, like how they print packaging and things like that. And he liked that look for his pop art. It's where they put ink through a screen of silk and then it comes out through a screen onto a piece of paper. Next, I'm going to go to this one and make the label blue here. On this one, I think I'll do the word soup blue. And here, I think I'll make the can blue. The can at the edge and the top. This one's very patriotic looking so far. Now I gotta go back. See, I color pretty fast, but I want to go back and get rid of all my little white spots in my coloring. Make it nice and solid. Don't worry if you just go out of lines. Don't even worry about it. Okay, so next, maybe I'm going to try green. So I already put the word tomato in green. Maybe I'm gonna make soup in green here. And I think I'll make the top of this can green. Ooh, what should I do on this? Maybe I will make this background green. Here, I'm gonna remind myself to make that green. I have, let's see, I've got like purple and dark blue. I think I'll use purple. Okay, so for purple, I think I'm gonna do purple down here. It's actually dark blue, but it's kind of blue-violet. Gotta get right in here and get all those little white spots, even inside the O, in that little hole. Okay, what should I do on this can? Maybe nothing that color. This one, I think I'll make the top. Okay, let's see, maybe I'll make the background of this one blue. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm going to do red for this one. I'm doing green for this one. Okay, now you can leave some things white if you want to leave that background white. I'm going to color this one in. What color haven't I used yet? Light blue, green. I think I'll use, I think I've used every color. Maybe I haven't used orange. No, I did use orange. Hey, how about brown? I'm gonna do brown for this part here. Give it a second coat, get rid of all those little white marks. Get in that O. What color should that background be? Maybe that one is going to be, maybe this one's going to be orange. Yes. So I think I want to leave that one white just because I think it looks kind of cool white. Because it reminds me of the traditional Campbell's soup can of red and white. Okay, now I've got this much done and I'm ready to do my background. So in the background, I'm gonna make sure I stay in my corner. because we've got 4 rectangles. This one, this is my orange area. And I'm just gonna start and go at it. I wanna fill in the whole background. I might even have to sharpen my pencil again. I give myself a little outline so I try to stay in that zone. Alrighty, I hope you're enjoying drawing with colored pencils. I love drawing with colored pencils, and it's not even messy. Okay, so I've got my orange background here, and I'm going to move on to my blue background over here. Let me make sure I stay in my zone. Now, if you need to move your paper because your hand's more comfortable at a different angle, then that's just what you do, right? And I just need to get around this can with my blue. When I get near the edges, I try to slow down. Okay, and now I'm going over here. Alrighty. 2 sections done. Okay, let's get the red. Okay, I've got my 3rd section done, but I'm looking at my red thinking, gosh, I would like that a little brighter. So I'm going to give it a 2nd coat of red. And now I'm down to my last of the 4 backgrounds, and I decided I'm going to do it green. So here we go. Gonna make that line. Now, if you want to learn more about this artist, Andy Warhol, and see all the different types of pop art he did, you can Google up his name and learn more. Oh, my green is getting down to the nitty-gritty. Let's see if I can make it. Maybe I'm going to have to sharpen this or switch to another green pencil. Got another green pencil. And maybe I'm gonna make this green a little brighter in all the light spots. Okay, I think it's looking pretty good now. I think I've got it all filled in. Okay, so mine is looking like this. Now, if you're still coloring, take your time, take your time. But when you're done, I'll show you what you can do to mount this onto your black paper. We're going to take the black paper and the label. And we're going to put a little glue on the label and then set it onto the black paper vertically. That means so that when the art's standing up tall, it's on the back. Then I'm going to take the back of the art I just made and I'm going to put some glue along the inside of the edge. Then I might put a few lines of glue back here. You don't have to cover it in glue. It's not going anywhere. It just needs to hook to a piece of black paper. And I center it, meaning I want the space of black to match on every side. Once I think it's there, I just rub it out. And then, ta-da! This is how mine turned out. It's a little different than this one here, and it's probably a little different than the one you made. Now, everyone should look a little different. Everyone is going to have chosen different colors in different areas, maybe even different soup names, and maybe their cursive is like squiggly and wiggly, and maybe it's just all kinds of a swirl. And, it's good to make yours look unique and different, so don't compare. It's going to be just fine, hopefully. You'll get to show these off on the wall in your classroom or in your hallway. And you've learned how to draw a cylinder, and you've learned how to color in with colored pencils. And I think yours probably came out amazing. I would love to see how it turned out. Until I see you again, I just want to tell you, thanks for joining me, and keep making cool art.